The USA had gone into the World Championships in Tokyo with big dreams in the distance events. There had been an expectation that with Cole Hocker in the 1500, Grant Fisher and Nico in the 10,000 metres, and all three in the 5,000, the USA had a good chance of gold in every event. But one by one, those dreams had been dashed. Fisher and Young had burnt their matches too early in the 10K, finishing outside the medals and watching the more patient Jimmy Gressier time his kick to perfection. And Hocker joined a host of other favourites in the 1500 metres by not even making the final, being controversially disqualified in the semi-final for pushing his way through after getting caught on the rail. But with all three back and with a point to prove in the 5K, there was a real chance for American redemption. Fisher and Young had been among the early season favourites for the 5K, with Fisher running 7:22 over 3,000 metres and 12:44 for 5,000 metres indoors back in February, making him many people's early pick for gold. And by the summer, Young had put himself in contention too, boasting the fastest season best outdoors in the final here, from his 12:45 run at the Oslo Diamond League, where he had also got the better of the best East African runners. While Hocker had not been considered a contender for the 5K in early season, he had put himself firmly in the conversation by beating both his American teammates at the US Championships to qualify for Tokyo, leading the race throughout before winning with a brutal kick. As such, I had billed this as a race of the kickers stepping up from the 1500, led by Hocker, against the traditional 5K guys who would have to try and drop him, and picked Hocker as the most likely winner. So out of that long list of contenders, who do I think will get it done? It's really tough to call, but I'm going for Hocker to hang on to the pace and kick to victory in the home straight. With Laros subsequently looking poor in Tokyo before dropping out of the heats, and Jakob a shadow of his former self without the required time to recover from injury this summer, I was getting more and more confident I had picked correctly as the final approached. But there were some other contenders with a good chance of victory. Ethiopia are always a threat over 5K, and in Hagos Gebrhiwet and young star Biniam Mahari, they had two athletes who were sure to feature. They would need a fast race though, as neither had been able to outkick their European and American rivals in the Diamond Leagues this year. And the Europeans were also looking strong. Even with world leader Andreas Almgren eliminated in the heats, Gressier's stunning victory in the 10K, along with his and Isaac Kimeli's strong kicks to win the final two Diamond Leagues, had marked them out as contenders too. When the race started, Hocker signalled his intentions by going to the front, likely with the intention of running 67-second laps and keeping the pace manageable to ensure he had enough energy to kick at the end. It was a tactic that had served him well at the US Champs and looked a good choice here. But Fisher and Young were having none of it. Fisher moved past Hocker at 600 metres in and wound the pace straight up, with Young hot on his heels. Now this probably was a good tactic to optimise their individual chances of gold, as with Fisher showing vulnerability in sprint finishes against Kimeli and Gressier in the Diamond Leagues, there was simply no way they were going to beat Hocker in a slow race. But when considered in the context of American medals, this tactic didn't look quite so smart. In a 13:20 race or slower, Hocker was the overwhelming favourite for gold. But by signalling their intention to make this a sub-13 minute race, they opened up the possibility of no American medals at all. Now Hocker must have been flustered to see his race plan go out of the window so early on, but he adapted beautifully. He didn't waste energy following his teammate's surge, knowing that someone else would close the gap. When Gebrhiwet put in a big effort to bridge to the Americans, Hocker still waited. Only when Mahari and Bellew closed the gap more gradually did Hocker take his place in the line and settled in to ride the train to the finish. But it was going to be a fast train. Helped by Gebrhiwet, Fisher and Young blasted through the first kilometre in 2:40, followed by a 2:34 and then a 2:36. The 5K guys certainly weren't going down without a fight. The pace slowed a touch at 3K, and Mahari came to the front to help out, before Ingebrigtsen decided he wanted to at least feature and took over with 1,500 metres to go. If the Norwegian had been able to return from the wilderness to throw down a fast last mile and finish among the medals, it would have made for one of the best 5K storylines of all time. But it was soon evident he didn't quite have it. With 800 metres to go, it was all bunching up, as we waited to see who would blink first and take it on. We stayed waiting another 300 metres until Mehari made a big move and started racing Kimeli to make it to the bell first. The Ethiopian got there first and led around the bend, with Hocker all the way back in 10th. Carnage unfolded as they hit the back straight, with everyone trying to move up and get towards the front going into the last 200 metres. Hocker was running wide in lane 2, and with 200 metres to go he had already pushed into 4th place. Round the final bend he passed Gressier and Mehari and drew level with Kimeli as they entered the home straight. From that point on, it was all over. Hocker was not to be denied, all that pent-up frustration from his elimination in the 1500 metres bursting out as he sprinted away from Kimeli and towards the line. America had their gold medal. But after all the celebrations of Hocker's monumental achievement had died down, it would become clear that the implications of this result would have far-reaching consequences for the world of distance running. With Hocker, Kimeli and Gressier on the podium, this race was the first time that an African has not medalled in the event since the first ever World Championships in 1983. But more importantly, the style of runner Hocker is and the way he ran this race tells us a lot about how the 5,000 metres might play out in future. Hocker is a pure 1500 metre runner at heart, yet he still looked comfortable in a 12:58 race in difficult conditions here, showing closing speed off such a fast pace that we have never seen before. He ran his last 400 metres in 52.6 seconds, with a 25.5 last 200 and a 12.5 last 100 metres. That is faster than even Jakob Ingebrigtsen's best ever close in a 5,000 metre race, which was achieved at the end of a slower 13:11 race at the 2023 World Championships. The level of the 1500 metre men is so high right now that it makes it almost impossible for the pure 5k guys to win at their own event. We thought we had the perfect hybrid athlete in Jakob, but based off Hocker's performance here, I don't believe that even at full fitness he would have beaten the pure 1500 metre man today. Which makes the 5,000 metre now really exciting. After 3 years of Ingebrigtsen jogging around and then destroying everyone in the last lap, he is going to have to push to his limit to beat Hocker and the emerging Niels Laros in this event in future. We can look forward to fast races, with Ingebrigtsen sending it in the last mile, giving everything he has to drop the 1500 metre guys, which is something I can't wait to see. So after one of the best 5,000 metre races of recent history, let me know in the comments below how you see the future of the event playing out. And please remember to subscribe to my channel to catch more analysis like this as soon as it's published. Thanks for watching everyone, and see you in the next one.